Welcome, everyone. This meeting is now called to order Monday, May 23rd, 2022. Councilman Quaddy, please lead us in the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Mrs. Kraus, please read the statement of public notice.
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. The notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on March 11th, 2022. A copy of the notice was mailed to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the township clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on the township website at www.lfnj.com. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you. Roll, please.
Councilmember Hablitz. Councilmember Kawadi.
Present.
Councilmember Sieber.
Present.
Councilmember Vanchery.
Present.
Council President Scoba.
Present. Before we continue, we're going to move the agenda around a little bit if the council does not mind. Chief, would you like to address the council?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I just have one item, and we did have the swearing in tonight, and I want to thank the council and the mayor for that, for the new officer, Francie Santos, joined the Little Falls Police Department this evening. So I have a general order here that I'd like to read to the council. Pride Month will begin June 1st, and we'll be having the flag raising. So this is a general order with the establishing a LGBTQ+ liaison officer with the Little Falls Police Department. So the purpose of this general order is to ensure trust and promote a positive working relationship between the Little Falls Police Department and the LGBTQ community through education and community outreach efforts in furtherance of New Jersey Attorney General Directive 2019-3. The Little Falls Police Department hereby creates the position of LGBTQ liaison officer to act as the point of contact between this agency and the New Jersey law enforcement LGBTQ liaisons. The LGBTQ liaison shall partner with community stakeholders and government officials to bridge any gaps that may exist between the Little Falls Police Department and its LGBTQ community. The LGBTQ liaison officer represents both the Little Falls Police Department and the New Jersey LGBTQ law enforcement liaisons and shall represent both with the utmost integrity, professionalism, and accountability. The LGBTQ liaison officer will be available to respond to sensitive LGBTQ related issues when an emergent need arises, even while off duty. That officer's duties and responsibilities will include assisting, advising, and consulting with other officers on cases involving LGBTQ issues, assist victims of anti-LGBTQ bias crimes, student harassment, intimidation, and bullying, or HIB, by promoting collaboration with businesses and schools through education and referral services, provides training or organizing a training with an expert for members of the department at police academies or in-service training on LGBTQ topics, develops and implements strategies to prevent hate crimes and violent crimes within the LGBTQ community, develops and maintains relationships with business owners, community groups, and individuals of the LGBTQ community to inform them on relevant law enforcement issues. The incumbent shall serve as a representative of the police department at community LGBTQ events, identify and attend trainings related to LGBTQ issues, implement a police department recruitment program that actively advertises to LGBTQ community, develops and maintains an open, trusting relationship between the LGBTQ community and the police department, and lastly, assists in policy development surrounding LGBTQ matters. With that general order, I did issue a personnel order to Sergeant Dawn Gilchrist, who will be the department's LGBTQ liaison. Should any member of the community wish to contact her, she's available at any time.
Thank you, Chief. Council have any questions?
I have one quick question.
Yes,
I
to the
think that's
floor.
amazing. Was there any prerequisite in terms of who you chose as the liaison?
Well, so Dawn is an open member of the LGBTQ community, so it's either somebody who's openly part of the community or any advocate for the community. So we are happy, I'm happy to report that I believe we're the 63rd law enforcement agency in New Jersey to have an identified LGBTQ liaison.
That's amazing. And also, is there any sort of term limit or is this just ongoing?
As long as Dawn or any member of our agency has an active interest in pursuing this, I'm going to support this program with them.
Thank you.
Councilman Quaddi.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to say thank you for another way to find another way, for finding another way to reach out to the community. I think the department does a superb job of that. You've done it once again. Anything that makes our members of our community, our residents, people who are in our township feel safe and secure and included, particularly by the police department, is a positive thing. So thank you for continuing your efforts to find new ways to do that.
And Sergeant Gilchrist will be at the flag raising along with, members of our department on June 1st, which I'm sure will be discussed. But there's no council meeting until then. So I just wanted to put this out there that this is established by general order of the department and she is assigned through personnel order. And, we have a liaison and, somebody from the public could reach out tomorrow or tonight even. And, we're supportive of that.
Councilman Vanchery.
Deputy Chief, you took the words I was going to say, because with the flag raising coming on June 1st, I was going to say if you could ask Sergeant Gilchrist to maybe say a few words, or if you wanted to introduce her new role as we do the flag raising that night, because we'll have the proclamation, some words from the mayor as well. And I think it'd be a nice thing for us to do. So if we can recognize this, and we can probably do it this week coming up as well at the concert in the park. Maybe it's something we discussed. I know we talked about you saying a few words Friday night,
Okay.
so that's something we can do as well.
Yep.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank
Okay, we're going to continue on. We're going to do the minutes in two separate motions. Can I have a motion? Yes. He has, unfortunately, has an important function he has to attend. We'll try to do our best to entertain your question, Mr. Fernandez. Okay, getting back to the minutes, we're going to break this up into for two motions for the minutes of April 25th. Can I have a motion to approve April 25th? minutes?
So
Moved by Councilman Vanchery,
Second,
second by Councilman Quaddi. All those in favoring, and if you didn't attend, do not, please abstain. This is a voice vote, but oh, it's a roll call.
If I may.
It's a roll call,
Suggest a roll call.
The roll call. Mrs. Kraus, call the roll for the April 25th meeting.
Councilmember Kawadi,
yes.
Councilmember Seaver,
No.
No,
No, you want to
Abstain.
abstain.
sorry, abstain.
Let the record show that Council Member Seaver is abstaining.
okay, Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Have a motion to approve the minutes of May 9th.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second,
second by Councilmember Quaddi. This is a roll call. Please call the roll on the May 9th minutes.
Councilmember Kawadi,
yes.
Councilmember Seaver,
Abstain.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. I have a couple of updates. The first being with the ongoing water main project through Main Street and a good chunk, a good stretch of Main Street in town. The water company is continuing to work each evening as they continue to make progress. Unfortunately, I don't think they're moving as quickly and going to be completed as quickly as anybody in town would like, because I would like for it to be over already. However, they are continuing to make progress each and every night. There were sections of the project where I understand they hit a lot of essentially bedrock that was not necessarily anticipated in the areas. There were also a number of culverts which they needed to divert around, go under, create additional pits that required them to go deeper. So there has been a lot of work involved with this water main replacement and improvement project. This has been a project, like I've stated, that has been planned in Little Falls for 7-8 years now at this point, maybe even longer. I know it's been talked about since prior to me even being mayor. They, as I indicated, are continuing to work. For those that are unaware, essentially from Montclair Ave down across Route 23 in Little Falls is where this main is being installed. They are continuing again to move this project along. There is going to be some delay in additional time until they get the final plans and approvals from NJ Transit and all the other agencies required in order to, they call it a jack and bore underneath the train tracks because they cannot obviously dig through the train tracks and disturb NJ Transit's train lines. So that will take almost a week in its entirety just to get about 100 feet done in that particular section. So I'm hoping that that is moved along as quickly as they anticipate, but they are awaiting some final plans on that portion of the project. Again, they will be making several passes, as I've indicated in the past, because the first thing they have to do is install the main. They come back to install fire hydrants, a number of which have already been completed. They eventually will tie in all of the service lines to all of the homes and all of the side streets. And the final phase of the project will be restoration of lawns, sidewalks, and things that they've damaged. And eventually, once the roadway has an opportunity to settle after about 90 days, they will come back and they will pave the roadway from curb to curb as part of this deal that they have with the township and the county in restoring the county road. So the good news is at the end of this project, we will have a road that is completely resurfaced and restored back to its original side to side curb to curb paving. So that is the first thing that I had an update on, and I will continue to provide updates as that project moves along. The second update is the streetscape projects that we will have really will begin seeing work in the downtown within about 1 to 2 months from now. Construction will begin on the first phase of the streetscape on Main Street. This first phase will start at Maple and go up to about Patterson Ave. It's going to happen almost just before, and as that concludes, hopefully the next phase between Patterson Ave up towards a little bit past Center Street will then commence. And ultimately and eventually that will then continue all the way down to Union Ave. The first bid has already been opened. We are awaiting the bidder list from the responsible bidders after attorney review, and award will be made. And that project will be underway, hoping that that could happen relatively soon. That is the update on the streetscapes. The last update or really request that I have of this council, since these are council meetings and requests for modifications to them need to be made through the council, is I would like for the council to consider sort of an unorthodox type of meeting in the future for the months of July and August. And as everybody in town knows, what we've done is we've moved to having one workshop per month, followed by one regular meeting each month, with the first meeting typically being a workshop, the latter meeting of the month being the township council meeting where a majority of the action is taken. What I'm going to ask is that, much like there was in the past summer months in July and August, that this council consider having one meeting in July and August where action will actually be taken, but converting the July 11th and August 8th meetings, the first two meetings of those months, into what I would like to call really town hall style meetings, where myself and this council would be available on an officially noticed meeting to answer questions that the public may have, to address concerns, to provide additional updates that are ongoing through town, because we have noticed in summer months and historically that there are a lot less items on the agenda. It just seems to be comes in in waves. Summer months have typically been a little bit slower on agendas in the past, and I'd like for this council to consider just more of an open forum for residents to either join us in person or on Zoom to address questions and concerns that they may have about anything that may be happening in town. If they want updates on the weather, we can provide those as well. So just any sort of update, any sort of conversation that residents want to have, any concerns that they want to have addressed, I think it would be a good change of pace rather than the formalities of a typical council meeting. While it would still be an officially noticed meeting, we might be able to have a little bit more of a relaxed setting with a little bit more of a conversation that would just, again, allow for a little bit more of an open dialogue rather than you have 3 minutes to voice your concerns and then it's over. Again, just something I'd like this council to consider. I'm asking that again, we do it just one meeting in July, one meeting in August to get a pulse to see if it's something that we may want to continue occasionally in the future. But again, I propose that to this council, and maybe for one of the next upcoming meetings, if it suits the council, maybe we can announce that these meetings are being converted to that style meeting rather than an official workshop meeting as we have normally had.
Thank you, Mayor. Does the council have any questions or comments, especially with the last section about the open town hall
I do.
meetings? Council member Seaver, the floor is
Thank
yours.
you. I think actually it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea to create more of a informal, open session for people to feel free and more comfortable to come to speak, whether it's in person or online. My question is, I think historically, having 2 meetings during the summer is actually pretty new, correct?
It is. It was something that when I was elected initially, that I had requested that the council consider because for my time as on the council prior to that, and for many years in the past, there was always 2 or 3 months in the summer where there would only be one actual meeting that the township would hold. So again, still keeping 2 meetings, but just changing the format of one of them. But yes, in
Right.
the past, there was only one summer meeting for 2, 3, or 4 months of the year.
Right. I think that's actually a more positive note too, is that historically there used to be only one meeting. We went to 2 meetings and now we're doing 1 meeting and you're proposing a kind of more informal meeting, although still legal.
Correct. Legally noticed meetings.
Right.
It's open to the public. They can provide their comments. There's still minutes of any concerns that are addressed. But again, just the open dialogue, I think, makes for a lighter atmosphere. It allows for a little bit more of an informal type meeting. It allows for the residents to voice concerns that they might not otherwise bring up at a regular workshop or regular council meeting.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea. I think it's also just a way to kind of continue progression from no additional meeting to a formal meeting to now kind of an open informal meeting.
Agreed. I believe if we're going to be here and we're all going to show up and put on shirts and ties, that rather than come here to address just one item on an agenda that takes 30 seconds and the meeting's over, we should make it a little bit more fruitful and provide a little bit more conversation and address concerns for residents.
Agree. Thank you.
Councilmember Vanchery, you have any comments?
Yes, I do. Mayor, what I'm wondering too is, I do like the idea because it does give people a little bit more leeway than typically under an agenda. I'm not sure if we could do it. I know Nelson's sitting in the audience. We may have to look into this, but maybe not doing it specifically here, maybe taking it on the road, whether it's at the Civic Center or the Rec Center, if that was even possible, or to have it somewhere different. Knowing that we have the sort of hybrid model might be nice too, to have a more open forum where people would want to come. So just something to consider as well.
I think for streaming purposes, that would have to be something we'd have to really.
Right, we'd
figure
have to
out.
look into,
This is
yes.
already set
Yeah.
up for it.
Mhm. But it's
so
something
we
could
can
be
look into.
Yeah, because I figure something like the Rec Center where you can fit a lot more people, you won't feel like you're crammed in here. Same thing with the Civic Center. So if it is possible, I mean, I think it's a great idea to have something like this where people feel like, okay, I don't have to wait for agenda items only, or then the public forum to say something. It'll just be an open dialogue. So if that's something we can look into, I'm all for it.
Councilmember Quaddi, would you like to weigh in here?
Gladly. Mayor, I was sitting in that front row, sort of across from where Mr. Fernandez is now. And I watched you up here as a councilman propose the idea of 2 additional meetings, and nobody would even entertain the thought. And now, not only are we having additional meetings, but we're turning them into town halls to welcome people into our doors, to welcome their support, their criticism, their comments, their questions. I'm proud of you for this idea and for the approach that you've always taken to engaging with the public. And this is just one more step in that direction, and it has my full support.
Okay, I gather I'll have a conversation with Mr. Counselor Wenzel just to see how this format will occur and on those 2 meetings, and we'll have some dialogue about that. And this will be a kind of a new beginning for this township council, and we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Seaver, would you like to do your council report?
Thank you very much, Council President. So I'm sure over the past several weeks, you've all heard me discuss about the Little Falls Farmers Market. We actually did have the grand opening this past Sunday. And I have to say, first off, very big heartfelt thank yous to the rest of the council and mayor being there, showing up, always, supporting our suppliers. It's been really great. We actually had, we didn't count the first year. We counted the second year. This is our 3rd year. We had record-breaking numbers this year. It was so amazing. And it was just so excellent to see our community come together to support our local suppliers. We honored Jalissa from Mo and Jay's Pastry. She was the winner of the Spring Baking Challenge on the Food Network. So it was great to have her addition there. Mo and Jay's has been a full-time supplier for our market for the past 3 years, and we welcome them back. But we have so many other amazing suppliers, as well as some new ones and returning. So I do hope that everybody does take advantage and partake in coming to the town hall parking lot on Sundays, 9 to 2 p.m., rain or shine, and partake in all our festivities. There's going to be a lot of additional events this coming weekend. We're going to have a big bouncy slide for our kids, as well as the kickoff for the Little Falls Library Children's Reading Program. So hope to see everybody there. Thank you.
Councilmember, do we have any date for the garage sale? Does that take place in the fall?
Our garage sale takes place in the fall. It takes place usually in September. So I don't have the exact date yet, but once I get my own ducks in a row, I
Thank
can definitely put that out.
Councilmember Quaddi?
Thank you, Council President. On May 18th, the School 2 Kindergarten Ice Cream Social was a big success. It was to welcome the incoming kindergartners. I was there along with the mayor and the entire council. It was a great event. It was actually the second ice cream social that we had that day. I'm sure you'll talk about the other one, Council President. And so I just want to say welcome to those children and those families in getting an education in Little Falls. And they were happy and enthusiastic and got to meet a lot of different members of the community that day. So it was a nice event. Upcoming events on June 21st, the Little Falls Business Association Block Party will be taking place. The corner of Main and Patterson will be closed off. That'll be a fun event. We will have there will be vendors from around the town there. There has typically been a pie eating contest in the past. I'm waiting for the mayor to confirm his involvement in that. I'm happily the MC of that event, and so we're looking forward to all of those events. Please put that on your calendar. The outdoor movie nights are going to start July 27th with A Christmas Story. We do Christmas in July, and then we do Halloween in August. That'll be Addams Family. On August 10th, the film will be Encanto. On August 17th, it's actually Corporal Vanek's birthday that night. So we let him choose the movie, and it is Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then we will wrap up on 8/24 with Ratatouille. And of course, on July 23rd, don't forget, is the second annual Water Fun Fest. Bring your water guns, enjoy the water slides, and what's that?
Leave your lightning.
Yes, and no crybabies, as the poster says. And congratulations to Councilwoman Sieber and Councilwoman Hablitz on the kickoff to just an incredible farmers market. What a great atmosphere. So many people there. The victory celebration for Jaleesa was just a home run. I look forward to it every Sunday. I hope everybody else does too. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Quaddi. Councilman Vanchery, tell us what's awaiting for us this weekend.
Sure. Thanks, Council President. Before I get into that, I just want to, take a moment to congratulate our newest officer, Francis Santos, who was sworn in earlier this evening. Francis comes from the Patterson Police Department, had a chance to talk to his partner before the swearing in. And as many of the Little Falls Police Department said earlier, his partner said the same thing. We're getting a good one. So it's nice to hear that. So looking forward to having him out there. I know the guys are excited as well. So congratulations to Francis and his family for tonight. As Councilman Kawadi alluded to, we went to the ice cream social last week, and it was really a nice event put on by School 2, and of course, Superintendent Marinelli. Seeing the little kids that are getting ready to hit kindergarten in the fall, their excitement, getting to walk around and see everybody, and of course, they get free ice cream. These guys had 2 ice creams, I guess, that day. So, but it was a nice thing to have, and we're always happy to be a part of it. I do have to give kudos to my colleagues who run the farmers market, Councilwoman Sieber and Councilwoman Havelitz. Yesterday was a very nice event. My son and I, were one of the first ones there that yesterday morning, and he made sure that I made every stop to get everything that he needed to eat before my wife and daughter came home from their camping trip. So I'm very happy about that. And it was a nice atmosphere. The music was pumping. It was just people looked like they were having fun and just wanted to be out there. So kudos to you. We're looking forward to more. I know there's going to be some other vendors that are going to joining throughout the season. So we're definitely looking forward to that. So congrats again. All right. So now it's time to talk about some of my events that I've been talking about the last few weeks. So the week is finally here for us. So this Friday, and I'm fingers crossed that we don't get rained out for the second straight year and have to move it to Monday, but we have the concert in the park on Friday night at 6 o'clock till 9 p.m. We're very excited about it. I have 27 tables set up for various vendors that are going to give stuff away, sell stuff. And then we're going to have food trucks. We're going to have some other food vendors there. We're going to have members of the Little Falls Police Department, the Little Falls Fire Department, the ambulance as well. We're gonna have some of the apparatuses for the kids to kind of check out. We're gonna have a train for the kids to kind of ride around with, courtesy of Schumacher Chevrolet. We're gonna have some of the cornholes. So we're gonna have other activities to do. We'll have a balloon person there giving out balloons to the kids. We'll have some glitter tattoos. We're gonna have stuff that's for all ages. And of course, the parents can rock out to the two bands that we have that are spearheaded by two local Little Falls residents. So we're looking forward to that. And as I said, hopefully the weather holds up. Right now, we're 50-50. I know Councilman Quad, always reminding me about his weather app. So I've been looking at it as well. But like I said, if we can't do it on the 27th, we'll have it on Monday the 30th. But then the next day is what we're really excited about, is the annual Memorial Day Parade. It's been a few years since we've had a chance to have the parade, and I've been working closely with Herb Brickta from the American Legion, as well as members of our CERT team, the DPW, the police, and fire. We were here last week for a meeting to go over the details. We're really excited about this Saturday. The parade's going to start at 10 a.m. We're going to make our way down Main Street to Wilmore Road. We're looking at probably an hour and 15 minutes. And then once we're done there, we are going to set up for the annual Memorial Day service, where we honor the reason why we're having Memorial Day weekend, to honor the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice. So the American Legion will lead the ceremony there, which will start around 11:30. And I did get a confirmation today that Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill will be there as well. So we're looking forward to having her there. And then immediately following the Memorial Day service, please make sure you stick around, because the firemen do their annual service as well. Then afterwards, I wish that everybody in town too supports some of the local organizations, because right afterwards, around noon, the Masons will have their annual barbecue outside of their building on Main Street. And then at 1 o'clock, the American Legion has their annual summer barbecue, kick off the summer barbecue. So, if you are around, please, come to the parade, come to the ceremony, and then again, support some of the organizations this weekend. So we're looking forward to these two events, and hopefully the weather holds up. Couple other events, as we talked with Deputy Chief Prawl a little while ago. June 1st at 6 p.m. right outside here at Town Hall, we are going to have our annual Pride Flag raising ceremony. So everyone is invited. Communication has been put up on the website. It's on the calendar as well. We'll probably have some more blasts that'll come through. So if you are around on Wednesday, June 1st, please join us. And then just before I finish up, one other event that we are working on with the New Jersey Jackals on Friday, June 3rd, is Little Falls Night. The game is at 7:05. So this is open to anyone, whether from Little Falls or other towns. Please join us for Little Falls Night. Mayor Damiano is going to throw out the first pitch. He's been practicing because he knows not to bounce it, because he'll never hear the end of it from me if he does bounce it, but he's definitely looking forward to it. And what we're going to have too is the boys and girls who play softball and baseball, whether it's rec or travel, are going to march on the field along the warning track prior to the game around 6:30. And then we're going to have a local resident sing the national anthem as well. And then everything is set up for Little Falls residents for all the in-game activities. So got a lot going on. Looking forward to seeing everyone, especially around the Memorial Day holiday. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilmember Vanchery. As it was mentioned by Councilmember Vanchery and Councilmember Quade, the Ice Cream Social Senior Advisory Board was held on May 18th, attended by about 40 seniors. I want to thank the council members who showed up and gave assistance in scooping out the ice cream, along with Officer Vanek and Officer Pinola, and also the chief. Sheriff Bernick came by and spoke to the group. It was a real enjoyable time. And they truly liked, having ice cream on a hot day. So it was a great event. I also want to thank Helen Lewis and Janet Cohen, my committee people who worked really hard on that event. They're wonderful committee people. I'm so happy to have them on my team. The next event that the Senior Advisory Board is going to hold is, I call it the Trip and Fall event on Wednesday, June 29th. Jack Zuckerman, who has a business here in town, who does physical therapy, will be showing seniors what happens when you fall, how to get up, and how to stabilize yourself so that you don't prevent further injuries. For anyone that ever has fallen before, getting up from a fall is really an important practice to do so that you don't re-injure or make your injury worse than what it is. I can tell you from experience, I wish I attended this seminar myself because I've fell a few times and the way I got up made my injury much worse. In August, we will hold our barbecue with the Senior Advisory Board, and we'll get back to a date. It's looking around maybe August 18th or so, but we'll get back to that date. We'll move on. Counselor, do you have anything to report to this governing body?
Nothing, Council President, other than I will look forward to interface with you and the mayor about setting up those two town hall-like meetings in July and August. I definitely believe that under law that can be, there's a methodology by which we can do that.
Thank you. That's encouraging. Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Quattie, second by Councilmember Cherry. All those in favor for agenda items signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. That motion carries. Mrs. Kraus.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. Please give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Please give your name and address for the record. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you, Mrs. Kraus. The floor is now open.
Luis Fernandez,
Good evening.
how are you?
Good.
I have a request. I hope I can get it. I would like a copy of what the chief of police just read, that first one page or whatever page, because I don't see the link between being an LGBTQ and whatever other things I'm missing, and being a community advisor, a community leader, a business liaison, and things like that. Do they only qualify? Are you only a good business counselor, administrator, if you are a member of that group only? That's what he was led to believe.
So your question, Mr. Fernandez, is why?
First of all, before we go into any details, and since I haven't read, I just go by what he read, and he seemed to be in a little bit of a rush. Can I have a copy of what?
Yeah.
And then at the next meeting, if you don't mind emailing me, at the next meeting, I'll ask the question more into details.
Mr. Fernandez, I don't know if that request could be obtained, Counselor. That's a job description, or I don't think it's up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just,
So-
just,
Can anybody send me an email with that?
You have to open it? Does he have to open it? Okay, you have to go through that motion, Mr. Fernandez. I'm sorry.
um,
I just can't give you a copy.
All right. Also, I had asked Ms. DiPiero, I believe
Yes.
her name is, because one of the resolutions, there is a page missing. And it happens to be the page where all the figures are. The tax levy amounts, the municipal amount, all the amounts, all the figures that are on that page. And I had a question. Unfortunately, I don't know what's happening to my printer. I think it's going bananas, and I couldn't print. So do I have to file a request also?
No. What What page are you missing, Mr. Fernandez?
It's one page.
Resolution.
I'm sorry, can you tell us which resolution?
It's resolution 22-05-23. It has something to do with the tax.
The tax collector.
You, Mr. Farrow, yes.
The,
Can you, go ahead.
Yeah, I spoke to Cynthia and she knows she's going to print it out. She said she would email it to Mr.
Excellent.
Fernandez, whatever needs to be done. We could possibly even print it out tonight if depending on when it ends, or I can get it for you tomorrow morning.
that's fine, that's fine. It can be emailed. The next meeting is 2 weeks from now, so it will be just
Would
fine.
that satisfy you?
Yeah, that will be.
And did you have a question you wanted to ask Deputy Chief Pearl?
Well, that
think
was
that was
based,
general.
and
Oh, that
I
was-
want to be more specific, so I would like to read what he just read,
Okay.
and then I will make.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Council Member Seaver?
I actually have a question for the council and the mayor. I believe we also have other liaisons within the department, correct? So not like whether it's a children's advocate or a juvenile, thank you. Like, I know there are other, right, so this is just an additional type of, correct. So there's so this already, this type of assignment is already in place, but this is now in with a new specific group. New purpose, thank you.
Mayor, you'd like to comment?
I do, Council President. Just to be clear, the document that Mr. Fernandez is requesting was sent out in the email blast, was posted online, is available for anyone in the public to see. So it is not a document that is missing. I think you just had difficulty printing the document. Is that correct?
Yeah, he said his printer maybe went
Yeah,
wacky.
but also, if you're gonna print all the pages, don't skip one. And that's the page that here seems to be missing.
Is that the document you picked up once you walked through the door here tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
apologize.
agenda though, isn't it?
That's just an attachment to the agenda. The agenda
I
itself
have no
is just,
idea what it is, but I
printed.
saw it online. When I went to print it, I couldn't print it. I couldn't print anyway. But it might be my computer. I'm not blaming anybody.
okay, I just wanted to be clear that the document you're requesting, it wasn't
I
that
can
we
see it, but I cannot print.
understood. I just wanted to make sure that we were clear that it's not like there was a document that was withheld, not made available for the public to view.
I just
This is
couldn't
a document you had an issue printing or,
printing it.
very well.
We also don't put the supporting documents out. We only put the agenda out on the table every week.
No, I.
Right.
Yeah, you
right,
said
but
it was
he-
missing though.
but
It's
he-
not-
No, let's clarify. He had a problem with his printer.
No,
so-
right, but he said it was missing from.
From his
this.
page,
I'm
from when
saying
he
it's
tried.
never included in this.
For the record, Mr. Kuchar, would you like to explain what that page is? please?
When we prepare a resolution for estimated tax bills, we're required to go through a process of analysis showing last year's tax in detail
Mhm.
and the estimate of what the new tax estimate would be. And that's what that sheet is.
Correct. I'm not-
And I'm just saying that's what's
Right,
on it.
Right. But he has some figures there and some terms.
Yes,
that
it
I'm not
has,
familiar
it has
with.
tax rates
So,
and amounts of
I'm
taxes.
not- I'm
yes.
not familiar with some of the terms,
Mhm.
and I will look at them.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but what the mayor just said about having only one meeting, I believe, in July and August?
No, there'll be
Combined.
two meetings. It's a different style meeting. It's been discussed to have the second meeting would be a town hall, non-formal type of meeting.
So the first one will be still
Correct.
like a workshop meeting, and the second one, instead of being a council meeting, will be like a
way
town
around.
hall,
Either
Flip it.
or
Flip it.
or vice versa.
vice versa, right?
Because I was sitting there and I was listening to him, and it's just so it will be more interactive with the residents. You know, you're making it sound like it's a line here to make questions. And I happen to be the only one that shows up at these meetings. So any more formal than this,
Well,
unless we have the meeting at my dining room.
Well,
I don't
Council
know.
President, if I may.
right, right. Mr. Fernandez, I think the mayor's request here is this, as you know, we run a very formal meeting here, right? It's done right by the book and we follow that letter. Here, the notion would be to have dialogue maybe amongst the council members, the mayor, staff, as well as other residents that would show up. Mayor?
Yeah, that's the exact reason and intention to change the format of the meeting. There's not exactly people knocking the door down right now to talk to us. I'm trying to change that. I want people to come. I want people to voice concerns, ask questions, tell us how happy they are with everything that's happening in town, if that's how they feel. The point is, with these formal format style meetings,
Mhm.
I feel and I believe that people may be less likely to want to communicate with us, to have a conversation with us. And by changing the format of the meeting, I'm hoping, and I could very well be dead wrong, but I'm hoping that people want to come here, have open conversations with myself and this council, ask questions, get the answers, voice concerns, and if there's concerns, maybe we can address them. If there's questions, hopefully we can answer them. But the point is, you're right. Short of you, many meetings wouldn't have public comment. But the point is, we're trying to change that. We want the culture to be,
And,
if you have an issue or a concern, that you can address it with us and talk to
You know,
us.
he said, and I said it, that I can recall a couple of times here at this podium, that something needed to be done to get more people involved in those meetings. He said, when you go, I pass Patterson Avenue, I pass the Civic Center, and there's more people there watching a stupid game, and I don't mean to, you know, put down a baseball game or anything like that, watching a sport, than seeing how their tax dollars and asking questions about how the township is being run and why or how their tax dollars are being spent and things like that. It's sad. That's what it comes down to. But anyway, I agree that something needs to be done. And hopefully we can dress you as a clown. I don't know. As long as he brings more people into the room and we get more activity, more, it's worth the show.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Vanchery.
I was going to say, Mr. Fernandez, the one thing too that I think we've noticed, and I think this is why the mayor brought it up, whenever he's done a town hall, and especially because if it's the virtual model, you get more people that are engaged. And those people that are on usually aren't the ones that are here, you know, sitting in a room with you or online too. And that's why I was suggesting too, to your point, how you said the rec center is always crowded. Maybe it's the one night where we consider doing it there because everybody may at some point over the coming months watching the kids. And guess what? They want to just go inside to hear what the mayor and the council have to say. Agree with you, because we wanted to, you know, have an open forum where people can come in and raise their concerns. And I think we'll make sure to you're first because you've been loyal, you have the seniority when it comes to sharing your thoughts, but we welcome others coming in because we want to know what's going on, obviously. So if there's ways to do it, that's why I think the mayor is kind of bringing that up.
And, okay, my last question, and I'm gonna make it quick, because I really have to go. The officer that was just sworn in tonight, judging by the last name, he happens to be Spanish, I guess. Latino?
I believe he's Dominican, but
No, I'm just asking. And if you recall, for years and years, I've been asking, when are we ever going, if we are ever
and
gonna get.
Mr. Fernandez, in all fairness, your requests have fallen on deaf ears, and I will tell you why. Because I did not hire him because he was Hispanic or Dominican. I hired him because he was the best candidate for the job, as I have every other officer that I have hired, whether they're Italian, whether they're Spanish, whether they're Greek, whether they're African. The individual who I hire to fulfill the next position of a Little Falls police officer is the best candidate for that position. That is it.
You're deviating from the point. I've never asked you if he was the best candidate or the tallest candidate. Or
And I take more issue with you not asking, was he the best candidate? And prefacing his hire on his nationality.
Just by judging what you just said, you were saying that up to this point, there was no Latinos that qualified.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's basically what you just said.
We have several
Up to
individuals.
now, nobody qualified to be a police, no Latino qualified. to be
Sergeant
a police
Cespedes.
officer.
Sergeant Cespedes,
I don't know.
he's on our police department, fluent in Spanish.
He's fluent in Spanish. He's
Correct.
Latino.
Again, he is, but his nationality, frankly, is irrelevant. He was the best candidate to be hired at the time. I have never hired an individual for the position of police officer in this municipality based upon their nationality.
That's your opinion.
That's not my opinion. That's not an opinion. I have hired the best candidate for a position. I did not ever once ask, Chief, the individual who you believe should be hired and who you believe is the best candidate, what is their nationality? What is their background? Never once. And I will never do that. I will ask, is this the best candidate for this position? And I will hire based upon that criteria only.
So you mean to tell me that in all these towns, whether it's Newark with a big Spanish population, whether it's Patterson with a big, you just hired, he was the best. The others didn't even come close.
That's correct. There were 50 candidates for this position.
Okay.
Of the 50, he was the best candidate.
Clifton with a large number of.
I'm not comparing Little Falls to any municipality, to any
He
city.
was the best.
He was the best candidate of the 50 applicants for the position of Little Falls police officer.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Krusia, is there anyone in Zoom that'd like to speak? Okay, thank you for that. Have a motion to close the public comment?
Hello?
Hello, I'm sorry. Yes,
Hi, I wasn't going to say anything, but since Dawn and a lot of people, I have a question.
you have to tell us your name, please.
Oh, Linda Hess. And I live in Lincoln Ave, and the neighbors and I just kind of have a general question. We're wondering, since I think it's Ridge Avenue or Ridge Road, the next road over, and all down Main Street, everybody's getting a new water line main. Are we going to get our water line replaced at some point in the future?
Did everyone hear that correctly?
Yes,
Is that okay?
I did.
Okay, Mayor, would you like to address?
Yes, Ms. Hess lives on Lincoln, on Ridge Ave. There is a water main replacement that is currently happening on Ridge Ave. She was wondering if the water main, I believe along Lincoln, was going to be replaced in the near future. And the short answer to that, Council President, is the water company has no need to upgrade the water line that is on Lincoln. It is able to handle the pressure of the current system. Unfortunately, there are many roads in town that have had older mains that have had several breaks that the water company has opted to replace occasionally. Ridge was sort of the one exception this year that required a replacement by New Jersey American Water and their contractor, Montana. But Lincoln has no water issues with their water main. The water mains there are in fully operable condition. And as far as I know, at this moment, there is no intentions by the water company to make a repair or an improvement or an upgrade or a replacement of the water main on Lincoln.
Ms. Hess, did you hear that answer?
I heard it, but I thought that they're also doing a new water main all the way down Main Street because of all the new building that's going on. And because of what happened on the
Yeah,
top of Stevens too, to accommodate all of those new buildings.
so Ms. Hess, this new water main is actually from it's from Montclair Ave down to Route 23. It has absolutely nothing to do with the buildings on Stevens. And that is a major misnomer and misconception in town that I believe is just incorrect information. This water main project was actually intended and talked about before there was even a single property purchased by the redeveloper and of the Singac redevelopment plan. That main in Little Falls is over 70 years old currently. It's a cast iron main. It was beginning to have some failures and unable to deal with the new higher pressure mains and higher pressure water that they are putting through the newer mains. So this was a replacement that has been anticipated, like I said, for 7 or 8 years now by New Jersey American Water, long before any of those properties were even purchased by the redeveloper. So it has nothing to do with those properties there.
Do you have any other questions, Ms. Hess?
No.
State your name, sir.
Jim Doran, 22 Riverview. The only question.
I'm sorry, can you pick up the mic a little bit? We can't hear you so well. Thank you.
Jim Doran, 22 Riverview.
Good evening.
Good evening, Councilman. When is the anticipated completion of the full hookup of the new water main to the houses? Do we have is there a date for that yet?
There is an estimated timeline. If you bear with me, I have to go through my emails to find. And it may take me just a couple of minutes. It was several weeks. I could tell you it was 5 or 6 weeks away. I don't recall off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find them.
Here, wasn't it like the middle of July?
Do you know the date?
Jim, we could get back to you with that, all right?
That's fine, got it.
Right.
Here it is,
And,
Council
uh,
President. I
oh,
found it.
hold on, we have it.
And it looks like I'm wrong. I didn't find it. Yes, I did. It looks like the work, there is work scheduled out through the week of July 17th at this point. And that looks like the estimated restoration and demobilization.
Okay, and am I understanding correctly that the town has little or no say in the replacement of the mains, that was entirely the decision of the New Jersey American Water Company?
Yes, in large part. To tell New Jersey American Water that they can't replace a main, or to tell a major utility provider that they cannot improve, and whether it be electric, whether it be water, whether it be sewer, I mean, granted, we do our own sewer here in Little Falls, to not permit an infrastructure improvement, I think is doing a disservice to the residents of a municipality. Everybody likes to turn on their faucet and have running water. Everybody likes to hit the light switch and have electric. To not allow these types of improvements would be, I think, unreasonable. But you're largely correct that these utilities are permitted to essentially do what they need when they need, with little latitude.
Thank you, Jim. Have a good evening. Mr. Kusia, is there anyone else that'd like to speak?
There are no other hands raised.
Very good. Have a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Seaver, second by Councilmember Vanchery. All those in favor of closing the public comment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Quattie. This is a roll call. Mrs. Kraus, please call the roll.
Councilmember,
Go ahead.
sorry, Councilmember Kawadi,
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver, Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Have a motion to open the meeting to public comment for general matters?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Seaver. All those in favor for general matters signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries. Mrs. Kraus?
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. Please give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Please give your name and address for the record. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you, Mrs. Kraus. Is there anyone like to come forward? I thought, was there some hands up? No? Okay. Seeing no one else, seeing that no one wants to come forward, have a motion to close the public comment?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Councilmember Seaver, second by Councilmember Vanchery. All those in favor of closing public comment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
those opposed signify by saying nay, and that motion carries. At this time, can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Seaver,
Second.
second by Councilmember Quattie. All those in favor of adjourning this meeting, do so by signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. This meeting is now closed. Thank you.